Hello again, everyone. It's me, Nick Michalak, and the exceptional Steve Frazier.
Well, hello again, everyone. Happy New Year.
Yes, and we are obviously doing a commentary for The Running Man, the Arnold Schwarzenegger film, based on a novel that was not marked as Stephen King, but it was Stephen King.
That's correct. Yep. We can touch on that in a little bit.
Yes. So, excuse me.
Well, hey, you know what? I've got problems too. Okay.
We got lots of problems.
It's been a year since I lost my voice, so thanks to everyone for the continued, love.
Yeah.
Hoping it gets better.
Yeah.
But I'm good. So here we go.
All right. So, guys, get your timestamp over to 0. I don't know if there's any subtitles on this version. I'll have to figure that out.
All right, we're going to try that. Hopefully there are. If they're on your copy, put them on because it makes it a little easier.
Yes. So, get your timestamp to 0, and in a countdown, we'll get going. So, in 3, 2, 1, play.
Ah, yes. So, we've kind of got a theme going today. The theme is 1982. And in 1982,
novel.
one of the novel has come out, published by an author named Richard Bachman, who was later learned to be Stephen King. Not that hard to figure out, really, if you are an avid reader of his work. And it only took about 5 years, right? This movie was 87?
Yes.
Okay. So it took about 5 years for them to adapt this novel about, a futuristic game show.
Mm-hmm.
And chances are, here, 2017.
Yes.
Oh, what a shame. We've surpassed 2017, and we are not in a police state.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely not in parliamentary zones, an iron hand. Television is not controlled by the state. How do you feel about movies that just open with this kind of narrative? Like
a lot of sci-fi movies do it because it's like we got to set up. It's in a different place. It's a different time. There's a bunch of political stuff that's probably happened.
It's like exposition, though. It's so annoying.
At least Star Wars did it in a stylistic way. You got John Williams' score and the big grand twirl and everything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Most of them just kind of slapdash it there.
Anyway, so 5 years go by. People go, hey, I remember that book. That was really cool. I'm really excited to go see this movie. The one about the game show and the guy who's being hunted. Only for them to get to the movie theater and realize that aside from the name of the title and the name of the main character, and the fact that it's about a game show, all similarities stop right there.
Yes, because
there is literally nothing about this movie other than the title, the character name, and the game show concept that are true to the story.
Right, because in the novel, it's been a few years since I read the synopsis, but it's basically the Ben Richards character is kind of down and out. I think he's like a single father or something like that, and he's trying to get into the game so he can win money to keep his family going.
He's not single. He has a wife, and an infant baby who is very sick, and he needs medicine for the child.
Yes.
And decides to go down to the. Well, this is a very dramatic opening here.
Yeah.
And. He decides to. He goes down to the game show, because remember the TV, all is run by the state.
Yes.
And there's lots of different game shows that you can participate in. So he goes down and takes his tests, and they evaluate him for all sorts of different things. And when the reports come out, he is qualified for or recommended for The Running Man, which is the #1 top game show and the hardest one to get into.
Mm-hmm.
But it also comes with the biggest prize.
Yeah.
Yaphet Kotto again is our friend from multiple films we've covered Yaphet Kotto on. So that's the premise, at least the beginning premise of the book. In this, what we've seen so far is basically a military operation gone wrong.
Right, because the...
Great beard, or goatee.
I really like Arnold with a beard. He's got it here, he's got a kindergarten cod. There's a little bit of an end of days. Like, he looks really good with the beard. He's done a lot more of it recently with the grizzled old man look.
Sure.
But yeah, so the beginning of the film here is like, okay, he's kind of like a enforcement officer or something like that, and then there's all these people rioting down below. Mick Fleetwood and Dweezil Zappa, those are fascinating names. But
and Richard Dawson.
And Dawson, man.
Yeah.
We're going to get into Dawson, man. But so all these people rioting for food because there's a famine and everything, so Schwarzenegger's ordered to go ahead and just kind of kill them all. And he says, like, these people are just hungry, they need food and everything, so he disobeys orders, and then they pin an entire massacre on him, and then they convict him.
Okay.
So it's all corruption.
And now he's in this detention center. Like he's in futuristic jail.
Yeah.
Harold Faltermeyer.
Beverly Hills Cop guy. Top Gun.
I don't know if that's a...
And it looks a little pasted on there, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really look real.
Kindergarten Cop, it's a proper beer.
Absolutely.
It looks really nice.
I think that was a working I-beam, too, because he really just kind of flung it around.
It.
I mean, he's a big, strong dude.
Oh, yeah.
He's got, 22-inch pythons there, but...
Sure.
I don't know if he could pick up that I-beam and... This was like staged, right? They're
trying to stage a break.
They're friends, and
they can get the control panel and deactivate the bracelets or the neck collars.
Yeah, that.
Beard's a little here and there.
I take back my comment about the great goatee or beard.
Yeah,
because it's not great. I guess the concept is great, but the execution is a little. I don't know, like he got some pubes stuck on him, or...
I don't know if they flashed on the director credit yet. I think they stopped short of it. But,
No?
Well, it's directed by Paul Michael Glaser, who was Starsky on Starsky and Hutch.
Oh.
And
Interesting.
He had been doing directing on Miami Vice. And he did another film from Michael Mann called Band of the Ham that came out. It was a random cop film. But they originally had Andrew Davis attached to it, who later did Fugitive and Under Siege and a bunch of other really good films, but after like 2 weeks, they were already a week behind on production, so they fired him.
Oh.
And I guess Glaser said he was originally approached, but because there was like a short pre-production window, he passed on it, but of course now they fired the other guy. He's like, oh yeah, I'll come on and do it now, which seems kind of strange.
Well, at that point, your pre-production's already done, so you don't have to do any work.
Right.
You just step in.
But now you got to kind of... You really don't have any time to catch up aside from like a weekend. So you got to jump in the whole thing and just get running and start shooting whatever they have on the slate.
It's like what's-his-nuts that walked onto The Wizard of Oz or Gone with the Wind, and just after the other guy left, he just walks out and goes, "Yep, give me that Oscar, thanks."
Yeah.
This not an Oscar-winning movie right here, but happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go that way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize they had the things around their neck.
Yeah.
And if you cross between the little beams or something, then your head explodes like that.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's a great prop. Little chunks of meat everywhere. See, if you'd have just waited a couple minutes.
Half a minute.
Oh, here's some more credits.
Okay, yeah, so.
Weird. It was like a pause.
They broke it up for about 4 minutes. There you go. And Stephen E. D'Souza, he was a writer on Die Hard, on a couple different things.
It's there's your boy. It's interesting how I don't remember if this was the second novel published by Richard Bachman. There were 4 originally before it was like revealed that it was Stephen King.
Okay.
And the first one, at least as far as I know, the first one was called Rage. And that particular book was about a kid who takes over a classroom with like a shotgun and like holds the school hostage.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
And it is an excellent, excellent story. And so as you can imagine, the book ultimately ends up not getting published anymore because it was found in like the lockers of kids that actually did this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, but it's an excellent story, and it's still published in the compendium thing of like all the Bachman books together. But The Running Man came out in '82, and like I said, I don't know how long it took for everyone to figure out that it was him, but in the story of The Running Man, in the novel, they go from wherever they start here. I don't know if it's L.A. or
I think it's Los Angeles.
West Coast-ish.
Something.
But in the novel, it goes over to the East Coast.
Yeah, it goes all over the nation.
And ultimately ends up in Maine, in multiple locations in Maine.
Sure.
And nobody writes about Maine except Stephen King in that era.
Yeah. I was going to say, looking up the screenwriter credit, Stephen E. D'Souza also was a co-writer on 48 Hours.
Okay.
And Commando. And that Judge Dredd movie that didn't do too well.
That guy looks familiar, with the young guy with the curly hair.
I didn't catch him again. There's Big Fleetwood. He's just here for no reason.
Look at that. That guy. He looks familiar. I don't know why. Oof.
So he's smoking something.
Yeah, I like he's got the World Gym shirt. Venice Beach.
He just showed up on the set with that.
Right. The beard looks better there.
Yeah, it depends on how they photograph it, light it.
It still doesn't feel like a real beard, though.
No. I think he's actually portraying himself in the movie Mick Fleetwood. Just called him Mick.
That's possible.
Like, by 2019, the band's gone to hell, the world's gone to hell, now I'm just tinkering in a freaking shack somewhere.
Now, interestingly, in the novel takes place in the year 2025, so we actually haven't gotten there yet. We still could.
Yes.
And I'm not sure why they did 2019, if it was a...
Yeah.
Like, that's not even 30 years later or whatever, It's almost 35, but it's not. Like, it's not it's weird.
Probably copying off of Blade Runner. That's set in 2019.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
November 2019, Los Angeles. So.
Well, then, I guess, are they in canon?
Half of these dystopian sci-fi future movies, half of them are ripping off Blade Runner as it is.
Makes sense. I love the outfits here.
Cowboy. He just looks fucking huge, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a condominium with feet, as Jesse Ventura would say. Or I guess Gorilla Monsoon would say, and Jesse Ventura would listen, he's in the movie, so...
Yes. They had done... Prayer came out earlier this year, so they're like back-to-back working on stuff.
Right, they're BFFs. And, Ventura always made it very well known that he was like BFFs with Arnold.
Yeah.
I think they're still friends.
I'm sure they probably...
Well, they both had political...
Well, Jesse's a little off the reservation.
A little bit.
He's a little bit of a kook now.
Yeah. Yeah, he kind of got in with that Alex Jones crowd and the conspiracy theories and the...
It's like he lives in Mexico now. I ain't going back to the U.S. or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Here we go.
I mean, if you've got a role that is like a sleazy game show host...
Oh, yeah.
Where do you turn but an actual game show host?
Yeah.
Who can turn the volume up?
Oh, yeah. He's actually more sober here than he usually was on Family Feud.
Yeah, I mean, they dressed him up a little bit.
I'm just saying. On Family Feud, you could tell he took a little drinky before the show, you know? He was always kind of schmoozing on the ladies.
You know, those TV tapings are long days.
Oh, yeah.
They film, 4 or 5 episodes in a day.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's a big bastard there.
Oh, yeah, Sven Ole Thorsen. It's one of Arnold's buddies.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
probably grabbed him right out of the World's Gym in Venice there.
Yeah, he's in Conan. He shows up in Predator for a hot second.
Look at that hair.
What the hell?
Good Lord. I have a friend, actually, that has hair like that, but...
Speaking of things, I think they did shoot this in Mexico. I think they might have done that.
It could be where Jesse Ventura found his future home. So, I guess am I not paying attention? Am I so, like, caught up in the novel that I can't, it's been a hot minute since I've seen this.
Sure.
Why is he here? Like, isn't the idea to
He's
just
trying to exonerate himself.
Stay off the grid?
He's trying to exonerate himself. He wants to get the evidence to show that he wasn't responsible for the situation.
All right. Yeah, that is a big bastard. That or Dawson's just a little small, but the juxtaposition is very nice cinematically.
Well, they shot this in California. I was thinking, must have been thinking of something else.
There's your boy.
Oh, Kurt Fuller, yeah. Brell from No Holds Barred.
Yep. I mean, he's been in 100 things.
Oh, yeah.
Where's she shopping at?
No name brands.
Oh, they cut it off right there.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like I was thinking about this, and we mentioned this, or I brought it up when we recorded RoboCop. There he is.
Yeah, with the piece on.
The
Captain Freedom.
That's the most ridiculous name. He's the most ridiculous person, and my absolute favorite color commentator of all time.
He's fabulous.
As wrestling fans, I don't know. He's the best. What I was going to say is, I brought this up when we did our commentary for RoboCop, that I feel like we've stopped coming up with our idea of the future.
Right.
And I'm always so fascinated to go back, especially when their version of the future is something that's already in our past.
Mm-hmm.
Like, clearly we know that 2019 is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say that this one is slightly more realistic as far as, like, home decor, cars.
Right.
Like, it's not spaceships and,
Right.
It's... like, we really haven't evolved that much, except for the computer age.
Yeah. I think the production design of the film is good. I think it just... some of the construction comes off a little tacky.
And this is his ex?
I'm not sure about this one.
Maybe not. How does he look even bigger with a clean shave and, and a shower? Haircut.
Yeah.
Speaking of haircuts.
Christ.
These are hilarious, those photos. Oh, the hate boat. The idea here that they're going through criminal files to try to select the perfect criminals to be on their show.
Yeah. It's like a casting call.
Right. And that's kind of one of the beginning departures. I mean, the whole military framing, all of that is...
This one's much more focused on, like, the corruption of the system.
Sure.
Okay, look at the synopsis. The girl that's with Arnold, that used to be his brother's apartment. So he went there trying to find him and found her instead.
I see, okay. Some great 80s looks here on her.
Oh, yeah.
I guess they're trying to be futuristic, but they're not.
I mean, Dawson's suit is definitely 1987. And they had a little futuristic button down for him.
The pinky up on the receiver is what a moment.
There you go. Turns into a different kind of movie.
Well,
now.
yeah, I was going to say. It's, she's got a little Marissa Tomei in her.
Yeah.
I dig it. It's so different than the novel. It's like, okay, well,
there's always a thing. If I hadn't seen the film in quite a while, I kind of forgot about this entire section of the film.
Yeah, me too. Like,
I just remember, I felt like it went like somewhere from like the prison break and getting the necklaces off into the entire game show thing.
Right. I also kind of blocked this part out of my mind. And I guess he wants her, because she works at the network, to...
There we go. I guess they did shop around for different leads before they got Arnold. They considered Christopher Reeve and also Patrick Swayze. I feel like Swayze probably could have done the novel version. I think he probably could have gotten there.
Yeah, I agree. Because he really is just kind of a Joe Everyman.
Yeah.
That's a hell of an outfit, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Reminds me of Commando.
Yeah.
The whole airport sequence feels so much like that.
And it's trying to be futuristic. Like this barcode scanning to get on the airplane or whatever. Little did they know.
Right.
Which is actually ironic because the ending of the novel is what caused all of the...
Oh yeah, I know the ending.
We can get there at the end.
Yeah.
We'll try to pace ourselves with novel comparisons.
Yeah.
Was Dramamine invented in 1987? Because it is a delight in 2022. Let me tell you. Do people really dress like this when they go on vacation?
No, I don't go on vacation.
As somebody who just went on vacation, the answer is no. Oh. In what world can you just run on a tarmac in today's age?
He's running pretty hard there.
He is running hard. I mean, that's a cool looking vehicle. Futuristic kind of.
Those weird expressions on its face.
What is this gun?
It's a net gun.
I mean, that's actually really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did they invent that? Or is that a thing?
I haven't the faintest.
I tell you what, people certainly don't put on suits to go on airplanes anymore either, though.
Yeah.
So that's a whole thing. They may have in '87, which is why you saw so many people doing it, and they just figured, oh, that'll still be a thing in 2019.
Sure.
Nope, ain't. It's a whole lot of pajamas, which is disgusting. I don't know. That's a good line. I'm interested to see, because it's been a minute here, I'm interested to see what the offering is as far as the winnings go. Like, what is his... Granted, he's been captured, so he kind of has no choice.
Yeah.
Which is, like, 180 degrees different than the novel, because he literally chooses to sign up for the show.
Yeah.
And here, he's trapped and has no choice but to be on the show. So, I mean, what do you get if you win? Like, your freedom? Is that the idea?
I know they show like a montage of people like, they went off to some tropical location or something like that, but obviously later on in the film they show this like it's total bullshit.
And it seems like it's a live show, which is kind of cool. I'm curious why they didn't just stick with the idea of the novel.
Why they changed it so much? Yeah,
Right.
I'm not sure.
And, you know, Stephen King never cares, really.
No, not terribly.
And, you know, he gets his payday, and usually he just endorses whatever, you know.
Sure.
I mean, there's only ever been one that Stephen King has outwardly been against, which is The Shining.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like it hurts. That also looks like it hurts. I was going to say, how is that legal? But, you know, whatever. Knock him out till showtime. Crazy. What a world. It feels so 1987 in this movie.
Yeah. How much budget they had for this thing. $27 million. This doesn't feel like $27 million in '87.
Well, no, that would be like $100 million today almost. Well, maybe not, but I mean, double.
I think Aliens was made for even less than that. Clearly, that thing has a lot more production value than this thing has been showing off. But maybe that just shows like, okay, they were already behind schedule and they just kind of have to get it done, it done.
Right.
I mean, Arnold was kind of disappointed that Glaser really just didn't. He kind of just directed it like it was a TV show. Like there wasn't any time to really kind of do anything with artistic expression or kind of have more of a vision towards it and dealing with things. Like, it's weird, like, something like these adverts and whatnot, they feel like they're ripping off RoboCop, but there's no way they could have planned it because RoboCop came out like 3 months before this.
Right.
You can see the difference. Like, okay, RoboCop has high production values and it's got an entire vision involved with it, and it's very smart and it's very clever and all that type of stuff. And this one feels a little, like I said, it feels a little tacky in places.
Yeah, it definitely comes across as less than.
Yeah.
Across so many fronts.
Yeah. These ladies were all choreographed by Paula Abdul.
Makes sense. We'll look for her name in the credits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was such a name back then in this world, the dance world, choreography. I believe she was an original Laker girl.
Yeah.
And the Laker girls were the very first, as far as I know. I don't know if they came before the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, but I think in the NBA they were the first. Holy shit! Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
He might not be alive no more.
He might be a friend of Jesse Ventura's.
Oh, this is 87, man. There's a lot of roids going around.
Yeah, you bet.
I can get the names of these guys. I'm not quite sure. I think I can guess.
I'm just saying, Paula Abdul is such an innovator and a pioneer in that world that, I mean, granted, she gets, I think, the credit she deserves for her pop music career in the late 80s and early 90s. And then there's a whole generation of people that only know her from, American Idol. But this is really like her claim to fame.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, without this dance choreography stuff, I don't know if she would have made it. A lot of this seems like filler also. You know what I mean? Like, are we really telling a story here?
No.
I think you could have had one segment of dancing.
Yeah. Feels a little bit like a show reel here. Damn Nitro Girls.
Right. What have we got? Tab. Nice.
Cadre Cola?
Cadre Cola is the government. Cadre is in the movie thing.
Okay.
There, you were looking and there was a commercial for Cadre Cola. But
it's nice consistency in everything.
Right.
Art direction.
But at the same time, like you were saying with RoboCop, it was so
razor sharp.
It was so well done. The television element.
Yeah.
And when you break it down, this is really a movie about a television show.
Right.
So they could have capitalized on that so much more, in my opinion.
Which I think ties into what Arnold was saying. Is like he was a little disappointed that Glaser really didn't get more nuance of the themes in the story. He just kind of shot it as it was written and didn't kind of layer anything more on top of it. Because, man, I would love to see an Andrew Davis version of this. I think he would have done a phenomenal job with it.
There he is. That's Dawson in all of his glory.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I realize that movie sets are also really long days.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine that he had a nip or two on the set.
Probably. He doesn't seem as saucy.
Well, they also could have, if it were me, I probably would have scheduled all of his shoots as morning shoots. And that
they probably did have to work around a little bit of the Family Feud schedule to a degree.
Well, you don't film all year round either.
Okay.
So, When you do 5
might have had
episodes
a
a
break
day,
for
right?
a couple weeks here.
Right, you shoot for a few months, and then you have a few months off, and then it's like a few months on, few months off kind of situation.
And this came out in November, so they're probably shooting somewhere.
Spring?
Maybe the spring.
I don't know his exact history, but when did Dawson leave Family Feud? Was he...
It's got to be definitely by the 90s.
Well, yeah, I mean, by the time I started watching Family Feud, it was Ray Combs.
Yes.
I had never... I didn't grow up with the Richard Dawson feud, and I know it was off the air for a while. So, this could have been the end, toward the end of the run as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
I will say, Steve Harvey is a goddamn delight in everything that he does.
Figure it out easier here.
I love the quote, needs no introduction. Introduction?
Yeah, I've been through that. Buried Dawson in these credits. Family Feud on IMDb. I can't find him anywhere. Come on. Be on here. Alright.
So I love that this is the...
Here it is.
Because we saw the opening, we know that this is not what actually happened.
This is after Feud. He left in 85.
I kind of thought so.
2,335 episodes. That's absurd. That's insane to think of. Passed in 2012.
I feel like I remember it. God, 2012 was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, now they got him the jumpsuit. He just looks like a regular dude.
Yeah.
Look, the girl's gyrating on him and all this shit.
What is that outfit? Yeah, the women don't make a lot of sense to me.
No.
As far as this show goes.
There you go.
Holy shit.
Adidas logo.
I like that they're all booing, and then once he's got the outfit on, now they're cheering.
It's ridiculous.
He did go to prison. Oh, you mean after you captured him again. Got it. Oh, fabulous. Okay. A full pardon. That does not look real.
Yeah.
Is she having second thoughts here? Is that the idea?
She's considering what Richard said was true.
And is she still in possession of the actual footage?
Well, that's what she's looking for.
Oh, I thought that... Okay. Yeah, I don't know why for some reason I thought that Schwarzenegger had the footage, but why would he? That doesn't make any sense.
No.
This is kind of the image... When you say the Running Man to me, the first image that goes through my mind is kind of this scene here with like Dawson, game show, and then this weird like bobsled entrance.
Yeah.
So the original threat was
that... I'm
sure
they weren't very comfortable in that
no.
fucking contraption.
The original threat was that if he doesn't choose to go in, then the other two do.
Yeah.
And now he's been swerved.
Mm-hmm.
And...
what the fuck is he going to do about it?
Right. The Stalkers. That was Barry Windham, right?
Yes, indeed. I was going to say that. I had that in mind. He was a stalker. He was the Widowmaker.
So, okay. He talks about game quads, right? So there's different, like, areas or
this
whatever.
This is good. I like this. That's great. The one time they reused that line, they got a good retort off of it.
I agree. That's a great reuse. A great reuse, a great retort. And this weird, like, bobsled entrance.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Just like Val Kilmer in Batman Forever.
Yep, you got it. Oh, God. It's so interesting that, like, he talked about the game quads, right?
Yeah.
So there's a limited amount of space that you can play the game in.
Yeah, certain arenas they're going into.
So it's not really the Running Man because he really can't run anywhere he wants to go.
Right.
The premise, as it were, in the novel, now that we're at the game show portion, which feels like the goddamn midpoint of the movie, but I know it's not. We're only a half hour in.
Yeah, the film's
not even
an hour or 40.
Not even, I don't think. So it's weird. It's like the movie's set up in thirds or something. The premise of the game show in the novel is that you're given a little bit of a lead time, and basically you can go anywhere you want.
Yeah.
You have free reign, and for every hour that you stay alive, I think it's every hour, might be every day, but I think it's every hour, you accumulate prize money. And
is there a thing where they have to call in every so often?
You have to create a videotape and send in a videotape. Okay? So, at least once a day or something. Which, based on the postal marks, make it very easy for them to figure out where you're at.
Right.
So it's a catch-22. And if you don't send in the video, then you lose and whatever. And you also get money for people you kill, and the public gets money for being able to kill you. So it's like a nationwide game show where everybody participates. Granted, in 1987, that might be a little difficult to pull off, production-wise. I don't know. So they changed it. Now, the fact that they changed it to an arena where you're being hunted by whatever, that's kind of okay with me.
Sure.
You make it more simple, more cinematic, able to shoot.
More soundstagey.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about the fact that they've changed the art, the character.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole premise.
Sub-Zero.
And this is almost 10 years before. What's the video game with the?
Oh, Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Not even 10 years. Maybe
Not even.
More like 6 or so. I know he showed up in something else.
It's Tanaka, right? Not Tanaka the wrestler, but the other Tanaka. There's two Tanakas.
Yeah, Toru Tanaka. Yeah, he was a wrestler. It's already showed up in other films somewhere. Filmography.
Yeah, not to be confused with Pat Tanaka
Oh, yeah.
of the Orient Express. Gastrol GTX is a sponsor. That's kind of fun.
And it shows up here in their little parts. Black Rain, Dark Man, Showdown Little Tokyo, Last Action Hero. So it's ridiculous. It's like a real estate agent.
He said 400 square blocks.
It's a lot.
That is a lot. But it is still finite. It's limited.
Right.
You're telling me guys on motorcycles can't catch up to guys running? And now they just have to survive this like gauntlet.
Yeah. It's like a video. It's very much like a video game.
Yeah, and that's fine. In fact, because it's so different, I'm kind of okay with it. It's like, okay, you've set up the premise. Now tell me a good story. Because it's so different than the novel, I actually have no idea what's going to happen as a first time viewer. You know what I mean? I mean, not just. I mean, I've seen it before, but that's kind of the idea. And he's like a hockey goon? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
And is the idea to murder these people?
I think so.
Because he's certainly wasting a lot of time showing off. You know what I mean? Or is it just to capture them?
I don't know.
The home version, sure. I like that it was just in a regular game box.
Yeah.
Like Monopoly. Can only imagine what's inside. That's so hilarious.
There we go.
It makes me so happy that all of the audience members are senior citizens.
Yes, I was going to say that.
I mean, that's just tremendous. It's I don't know. I'm not 100% on the premise here of what the rules are, what the end game is.
Sure.
Ooh.
I mean, it's such a thing with the thematic material you really could have. I mean, if you're really perceptive into what they've already set up here, you got these ravenous people just like want to get this bloodlust and everything. You could really tell a real fascinating, in-depth story about that. Reflect on society and all these different things.
Right.
It really could happen.
It feels cartoony.
Yeah.
And maybe it's supposed to be satirical or whatever, but oh, okay.
We're going with the one-liners on this one.
That's interesting.
She's getting warmed up.
Oh, no.
And 10 years from now, he'll be playing Mr. Freeze.
Oh.
And he'll be dealing with Sub-Zero.
Oh, Jesus.
In our archives now. Go ahead and listen.
Yes. As is RoboCop.
Yes.
If you want to see, 1987 futuristic TV, whatever, done the right way.
Done on the peak levels.
Okay, so I guess it is death.
Yeah.
Is the idea.
It's a blood sport.
Yeah, I stop it with the...
So you're pain in the neck. Look at the shirt in this dude.
They're making it sound like this is the first stalker to ever die. Is that possible?
Gonna make the story more interesting, yeah.
Buzzsaw. Was that then the first quadrant?
I suppose so.
And I do really like the idea that the audience gets to kind of pick.
Yeah. That might be the purpose that the guys with the motorcycles drive them to the certain arena to face off the certain guy. Divatowski.
They even call them a tag team. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And this is the guy we looked at earlier.
Yeah.
We couldn't figure out who he was.
There's no date of birth or anything on here. There's basically nothing on his filmography. What the damn?
Yeah, he was probably just a
breath wish.
A gym guy that, he wasn't a wrestler.
Yeah, there's really nothing on here.
And who is this guy?
Looks like he was in, if I'm right, he was in one of those World's Strongest Man competitions.
Dynamo or Buzzsaw?
Dynamo.
Dynamo is a strongest man? It's so... I mean, we did live in a world, where it was... these cartoon characters were larger than life. Pro wrestling at the time was that era. So these kinds of characters make sense to me. They're just ridiculous, but it makes them awesome.
Ah, boy.
I love that they can just make up the rules as they go. Like, you're going to have a couple extra contestants. This time you can't pick between the two stalkers. Okay, let's put both. I guess it creates the idea that the odds are stacked against the contestants no matter what. That the government, the TV will always win.
Right.
He's the nerdy tech guy. You listen to him. Oh, no. So here is the great part where she realizes that it's all...
Yeah, it's all the fake.
It's all work. Yeah. You can't trust anything or anybody. And she is now part of the Jamaican bobsled team.
It's Jack Candy.
What a fun movie. As an annual visitor to Jamaica, I need to revisit that movie. It's so funny. When they're talking about Mick,
Yeah.
they didn't even change his name.
No.
I know you said that before, but it's still funny.
Yeah.
An hour later or whatever it is. It's one of those like last minute additions probably, and they're like, what do we call him? I don't know, Mick.
Whatever.
What's your name? Okay. It was like, we had that in one of the Nightmare movies, right? The actor's name was Danny.
Yeah.
He didn't look like he was bright enough to remember a character name, so they just called him Danny. Danny Hessel? Is that his name?
Yeah. Look at that fucking suit. Jesus.
Look at that hair. Good stuff. Yeah. Bad looping there for a while. It's okay. Nobody pays attention to stuff like that except me. I don't fault him for it either. Like, if it doesn't catch on the, if you don't get the audio and you gotta redo it, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. It's a little hit or miss back in these days.
Yeah, blame the victim. Over here.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of a nifty vehicle as well.
Yeah.
I always thought the vehicle interpretations of the future were better than a lot of the technological ones.
Okay.
Because, I mean, really, back then, all of the cars were basically the same. So you could draw any concept you wanted.
Right.
And it would look different than the current thing.
Yeah.
You didn't really have to get too creative with, like, what could be.
Right. You just like make it sleeker looking and have a few odd
Bells and whistles and weird angles and... conveniently located. Now, if the arenas, or whatever they're called, quads or whatever, like this is a defined space that exists somewhere in wherever they are, LA or whatever. If anybody has ever watched the show before, you'd be familiar with the layout of the territory, right? Now, I can't speak as to whether any of these gentlemen or ladies have ever watched this show, but I'm thinking maybe I guess if they only pull criminals, then maybe they haven't watched it.
Sure.
But there's some good music in the background, Faltermeyer. It's like, I feel like it would get boring after a while as a viewer, because you know what the spaces are. You know who the stalkers are. Am I overthinking this? Probably. I forgot how big of a role Yaphet Kotto had in this.
Yeah. I mean, he's in a lot of it, but he's not really having much to do in it, is the thing.
Yeah, because, Schwarzenegger is like the main character.
Right.
And Weiss is the tech guru.
Right.
So he at least has a role to play.
Right.
She, the girl, is playing a role.
Yeah.
Kotto is just kind of along for the ride.
Right.
It'd be nice if he had a specialty or a way to contribute that would be beneficial other than just being a warm body.
Maybe he had some military tactical experience and they could use that. He could coordinate things with them.
Maybe he had watched the show before and knows the layout of the land.
That would be good, too,
yeah. I just think he needs a job. Everybody needs a job.
Right.
That was easy. Now that's kind of cool. I like the interpretation of like futuristic codes with symbols and I don't know. That's kind of neat. Like I don't know if you saw the keypad there, but it was all like weird symbols, not letters and numbers. Like that's neat. I don't know. Is that Buzzsaw?
Yeah.
The Saw is family? Is that the tagline? This probably makes more sense than the new Chainsaw Massacre movie that's going to come out.
Yeah, Jesus
Christ. Which, chances are, will just be an exact remake of the...
Well, again, it's another...
direct sequel to the original?
Yeah. Why are you bothering? It's like all these new movies, like, we're going to slap Amityville on the title. It's like, what kind of value do you think that has anymore?
It'd be so refreshing if people came up with a new story.
Right.
This already has some better chainsaw action than some of the chainsaw films.
Sure. We have to meander around the plot for 45 minutes, either.
Right. I know that you didn't love the first one as much as most people, but I do think it's really good. Oh, boy. Give me a catchy one-liner. There's got to be one.
He has one afterward.
Oh, afterward. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Good facials on Arnold, always. He's always been a good facial guy. Uh-oh.
Oh, right up the nads. Oh, it's a bad way to go.
I can't think of a worse one.
Oh.
That shut everybody up, really. Look at that. He's got his taco meat hanging out there.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
He's gone.
Shocker. What a ridiculous outfit this guy's wearing.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, they just took a light bright and then he...
Right.
Now, wait a minute. Let me think here. Remember how Dawson was so... Oh, no. Was so taken aback, I guess is the right word, that he had killed one of the...
Right.
One of the... Stalkers. Now, in the open of the show, Dawson talked about 3 previous winners of this game. How would those people have won unless they just survived?
Unless they escaped, yeah, but...
Can you win by not killing and just outliving the runtime? Like, if you just live through the 3 hours, then...
I suppose.
Alright. Because I'm thinking, surely, in that 9 hours of the previous 3 winners, some of the stalkers had to have perished. I guess not. I'm just thinking through this out loud for you folks. That's how my brain works. This car reminds me of something, and I can't think of what it is. Like, it looks like something from my childhood. And I didn't watch this movie, like, as a kid. It wasn't a staple in my house.
This looks like a modified dune buggy or something.
Yeah.
I'm trying to...
I don't know if it was, like, maybe a model car or something that I saw when I was a kid, or... Oh. They're booing him for not killing him now.
Mm-hmm.
Dawson has lost his audience. Oh, get out of here with the split.
They're the cheesiest one-liners in this film. They are. It's not like Total Recall where he's got like the best collection of them ever.
So we're halfway through the quads now?
I guess so. Oh. Yeah.
So it makes sense that we're 2/3 of the way through the movie, right? Because the game started at a third.
Thereabout. We got another 40 some odd.
So 30 minutes to get to... Structurally, this movie is not great.
No.
30 minutes to get to the game. 30 minutes for the first half of the game. We'll say 30 for the second half of the game and then 10 minutes to wrap it up? I don't know. Like, that does not fit the formula. Which could explain why some people don't like this movie.
Right.
So, is he dying now?
Yeah.
R.I.P. Kananga. And aside from the saving his life part, I don't really feel sad that he's gone. You know,
much.
Like the other guy, the skinny guy, Weiss, is he dead too now? Are we to believe that he uploaded the thing and then... Now, this is a similarity to the novel.
Okay.
There is a moment in the novel, pretty much toward the end,
okay,
where Ben has, like, one of the main stalker kind of people. They're with each other, and... he's kind of got the one up on the Stalker. Mm-hmm. And Killian, the game show host, calls and offers him a job as on the show as a compromise.
Yeah.
So that is a plot element that's taken out of the book. It's like, oh shit, we might not win this thing. Let's get him on our side.
This into a
advantage. a win-win for us, right? Ooh, fireball.
Yeah, so Jim Brown, football star.
One of the greatest. Flamethrowers are so cool. Mm-hmm. Imagine how much weight that pack is on his back. Now, are we under the assumption that Ventura, look at that belt, ICS. Mm-hmm. Are we to believe that he is also a stalker?
Looks like he's more like a retired one or something like that. I don't know. It's weird because, I mean, from the opening crawl, it seems like it's only been going on for like 2 years.
Agnes. Bless you, Agnes. Hmm. No, you can't do that. Yeah, you tell him, Agnes. Mm-hmm. They've kind of lost control.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does the book even have odds on Richards at this point? Clearly not, because...
No, they wouldn't have. And they don't even have a basis to even...
Right, I mean, what...
100 to 1?
Oh, 100 to 1.
It's like a James Bond villain now. James Bond with a jetpack.
It's interesting. I was just thinking some of the similarities here. One of the commentaries that we're going to do coming up is going to be for 48 Hours, mm-hmm. and the director of that, I believe, also directed The Warriors, correct?
Yes.
And this kind of reminded me of The Warriors, in that they kind of have to go land to land, surviving the different, enemies of that land.
Yeah.
It's kind of a serendipitous thing, the way that all these things are connected. Mm-hmm. Burn 'em good. Don't just slightly burn 'em. Yeah, the locker room situation that Ventura is part of, it's almost like it's the locker room for all of the stalkers, mm-hmm. and as soon as you're called, you get to go, but mm-hmm. it didn't seem like Ventura was, dressed to play, so to speak.
Yeah, there's a weird type of thing later on where it feels like he's...
Because doesn't he comes in to play the game, right?
I don't know that he does. I know there's a point in the whole thing where it's like they're trying to get him to dress up as some gimmicky thing, and he's not for it.
Maybe he's not for it. Well, I guess we'll get there.
Yeah.
I don't want to speculate when it's going to happen here shortly. It's been a couple years since I've seen this, so almost exactly, because I read all 4 of those Bachman books as a unit in March of 2020.
Right.
When my job shut down for COVID.
Sure.
And I was stuck at home, and I was like, I'm going to read something.
Okay.
So I had never read any of the 4 Bachman books.
Okay.
All 4 were in one, set.
Compendium or something.
So I read them all. And then I recall watching this immediately after reading it.
And such a shock.
Right. Well, I had seen it as a kid.
Right.
And I didn't... I had lost the details on it,
Sure, yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
I didn't remember... Like, I remembered the game show aspect.
Sure. Yeah, this is where they find out that...
The other winners?
The other winners were slaughtered.
And not living on a beach in Hawaii.
No.
Or wherever they were. That's Hadad. So I was excited when I read the novel. I was like, "This is really great." It was exciting. It was futuristic. It was new. And then I revisited the movie, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
you didn't do that at all."
Yeah. Someone gave him a log line for the book, and they just wrote a whole different thing to it.
Right.
Here we go.
Shut up.
I love how you're just hitting on all the one-liners.
They're so dumb. Arnold's entire career is based on that.
Arnold's doing the best he can with this material, man. There ain't much. With the hot dude.
No.
He's got to double him up now.
There's not a lot of... I mean, the line about how he had the good shirt, but she fucked it up, that was a good line. Mustaches were so big in 87.
Wow. Here it is. Yeah, here it is.
Why is it that Killian is allowed... Like, I guess it's his show, but... So, he just wants to be...
Old school.
He doesn't want to wear the gimmick, is
Yeah.
the idea.
So I guess the game show's been going on longer than whatever the heck they were talking about in the prologue text thing. Well, I get it from Killian's perspective, the gimmicks are marketable.
Well,
Instead of just a guy going out there beating him up with his bare hands, that's not...
You're right. I mean...
There's not much of a kitsch to it.
I would want a buzzsaw or a fireball action figure.
Right.
Imagine that.
Which would have been nice if they did an advert on that, too.
Absolutely. If it were us, we would have done that. It would have, especially when they were talking about the halftime show.
Oh, yeah.
They never had a halftime show.
They didn't show any of that.
No. How great would it have been to intercut some commercials or something
Right.
for, more cadre whatever, which is apparently the hometown brand. Oh, is this the halftime show?
Some memorial interpretive dance thing? I don't know. Now they're doctoring footage. They couldn't do this in 87.
But the idea that they
Yeah.
think they can is really cool.
Yeah. There it is.
How is it that this happened? What did I miss?
I don't think you missed anything.
So they found the secret lair or whatever.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very confused as to how they got where they are. Ow.
Make sure he does come back in.
But I thought that
Or
they
is this
were...
the doctored footage? It's kind of hard.
Yeah,
It'd be easier if they just showed it on a TV monitor instead of trying to show it to us live action. It's a little confusing.
oh, here we go.
Yeah.
They're watching. They can see. Okay.
Yeah. They should have just kept it on the TV monitor to make it a little less confusing. They weren't showing anything about her being digitized in the thing.
And, right. And they came up with all of this, like,
In about 5 minutes.
like they basically made a movie.
Mm-hmm.
A digital movie. A cartoon
Right.
style. Like, they made it up.
Mm-hmm.
When did this come out? Like, what was the month?
November.
November. And Predator came out over the summer?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what month, but yeah, probably good 5-6 months earlier. Well, it made about 38 million. It wasn't a big hit.
Well, especially if it was on a $20-some million
Yeah,
production budget.
yeah. November's not a hot month to release something like this, I don't think.
No, this is a popcorn flick.
Yeah.
You know, Predator comes out and RoboCop comes out, and those are like
Yeah.
summer blockbuster types.
Yeah, Predator came out in June. RoboCop in July.
I love the little assistant guy up at the top. He's one of my favorite characters. It is an interesting twist here that, you know, he's secretly alive and everyone thinks that he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, they're running the credits and everything. Show's over.
Yeah, show's over. Oh God, now Arnold is back as Arnold.
Oh, yeah.
She's got the original video on one of those micro cassette I want to play a game tapes.
Yeah, it's a digital video, so it's almost like an SD card.
Nice. Great line. Him and his cigars.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
You ever smoke a cigar?
No.
I never have either. People try to get me to do it all the time, and I don't know.
I don't think it'd do my asthma any good.
Yeah, probably not. Like, I don't understand how to... Like, what the difference is between, like, inhaling stuff and just puffing on it.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how to operate a cigar,
Yeah,
is the point of this story.
We're not sophisticated enough.
People keep trying to tell me, like, oh, you suck on it like a straw, or when I'm like, I don't know, I'd screw it up, I'm sure. I think I would like cigars, which is another reason I don't want to do it, because once I start, I will not stop. This is the post-show.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they're like military style.
Yeah.
So Dynamo is still alive, right?
Right, he didn't kill him. He said, I'm not going to kill an unarmed guy, a defenseless guy.
Dawson is so great.
Oh, yeah.
Guy looks like Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Who took those photographs?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah, like, who was taking all the security footage? So always that thing in the films, like, how did you get this footage?
Right.
Why is this footage panning and zooming in the shot, or why does it look like handheld photography?
Right. Like, where was the camera on the chopper?
Yeah, is it shooting? Is it on a freaking thing, like a selfie stick 20 feet out?
It's multiple camera angles.
Right.
Oh, Agnes, you're the best. What a great way to show that, you know, everything is a lie.
Yeah.
A great reveal. I mean, as a concept, you know, it works.
Yeah.
I just wish that it was a little bit closer to the idea in the book.
Yeah. There he is.
Oh, there's Dynamo. Mr. Lightbright.
Terrible fucking outfit.
Lightbright had a jingle, too. Right? Lightbright.
Oh, there you go.
I don't remember what the...
Punch him in the dick.
It works every time. I've been saying it for years on this channel.
All right.
Oh, no. Any angle but that one.
No.
Any angle but that one. That does not look good. All those electrocution type things that happened in the 80s, they just never work for me.
Okay.
It's so silly. But I guess you gotta, electricity's invisible. So
Sure.
you have to show it in some way.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like they never came up with a good way to make it not look hokey.
It's got a bit of a vibe to the end of like They Live, where Dave and Roddy are storming the TV station to get to the satellite.
Little bit.
Not wrong, that probably came out like a month before this.
Was that also 87?
Yeah.
A lot of interesting themes and ties.
88, sorry.
Okay.
Almost exactly a year later.
This still feels less than most of those other movies we've talked about.
Yeah. It just, there's a certain level of, like, again, cheapness in how things kind of look. It's like, nah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get out of here. It's kind of funny that even in today's market, today's world we live in, everything is about TV ratings.
Yeah.
And selling sponsored ads and all of that takes precedent over the actual content of the show.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched plenty of shows with like, oh, this season was really, really good, but then the studio's like, oh, we want to hit a couple other demographics and change things up and shift things around. It's like you completely ruined the show now. It gets canceled. It was fine before you meddled with it.
Right.
Don't do requests. That's great. Go to hell. I don't do requests.
That would be terrifying, by the way.
Jesus Christ, you gotta be 100 miles an hour at least.
I mean, it's making me nauseous.
Queasy.
Yeah, just watching. This one seems to be worse than some of the first ones.
They sped it up more. That's nice.
Which, okay. I guess
that's satisfying.
That's a good segue to the ending of the novel.
Which is radically different.
Radically different. So Ben Richards, I guess, spoiler alert, but it came out 40 years ago.
Yeah,
so,
fine.
I don't know what the statute of limitations is, but 40 years seems enough. Ben Richards has made his way all the way to the East Coast, surviving, whatever. He's made friends, he's made allies, he's had trusted people try to turn him in. Ultimately, he makes his way to Derry, Maine.
Ah, yippee.
And he gets himself on an airplane, and I believe he's with the other lead, like, stalker guy.
Something, maybe.
And his time is running out. He realizes, I don't know if he's been mortally wounded. I feel like he has. And they're flying the airplane low, under the radar, so not to be caught by satellite and be shot down. And ultimately, the decision is made to, in order to stop the madness.
Yes.
He flies the airplane into the building that houses the television station.
The Twin Towers of the Games building.
Basically, yeah.
While flicking off Killian, who I think it was supposed to be African American in the book.
I don't remember. But
I think someone said that.
That could be. But basically, he flies his plane into the building, exploding, kamikazing himself,
Right.
and killing everyone at the thing. Which, okay, chances are you're probably not going to do that today.
Yeah.
Whew. So they are, from what I understand, working on another version of this. They're going to remake it.
Probably.
And like it's in the works.
Oh, George P. Wilbur from Halloween 4 and 6.
Oh,
Michael
okay.
Myers.
Sure. Interesting.
Nice.
Lynn Shay, propaganda officer.
Huh.
How did we not notice her?
Franco Colombo, another Arnold friend, he passed away a couple years back.
Now this is interesting. They give credits to who
Was the double.
Who was the... Yeah, that's so interesting. Usually that's not the case. And I'm going to be willing to bet that even in the modern update, even if it's more based on the novel,
Sure.
chances are they're not going to go with the fly the plane into the
Yeah.
building scenario.
No studio's going for that, man.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do and see how well it...
Yeah.
Little bit of a tangent here. One of the other Bachman books, I think it was the third one in the thing, was called The Long Walk, choreography by
Yes.
Paula Abdul. Thank you very much. It was called The Long Walk. It was another contest
Yes.
one. Absolutely one of my favorites. Highly recommend it. It's also being made into a movie. I'm very excited.
Yeah. I think... But they've been working on a remake of Firestarter as well, and they just gave it a rating, but they don't have a release date set for it yet.
Right. I saw that. I got about halfway through the book of Firestarter, and I kind of just gave up on it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It always just kind of left me flat. I enjoy the movie.
Yeah, the movie's all right.
Um,
Definitely got that on a maybe list for us.
and maybe it'll be interesting to do a comparison at some point. Like
Sure.
we'll save it for when the new one comes out.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Great 80s music playing in the background.
Yeah, I wonder who this is. Not a lot of weird names on this one.
No, nothing to really...
Edward Pawas... I can't say that one.
So, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if anybody... Alan Howarth.
Huh, that's interesting.
I'm interested to hear everyone's opinion on this. If they grew up watching it and maybe have never read the story,
Right.
Maybe people out there that have read the book and also enjoy both. Not to say that I dislike this. I don't hate it. It's just so completely different, And once I read the novel, I was like, now I'm a little jaded, I guess.
Right.
But
Because I had a friend who always, every so often would go off and talk about that ending and the stuff like that, and he really really wants to see a version with that ending.
yeah, well, I would too. Joe Pancake is a great name, by the way. Especially for craft services.
But that got me looking into, okay, this is very, very different stuff that they did to get.
Right.
He wrote in the book and all that type of stuff, so. And there's always a thing, for some reason I keep confusing this and Total Recall in my head, because I don't watch Total Recall that much.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long
And just
time.
because they're both based on books, and it's like, okay, I thought, I got the character names switched before and stuff like that. It kind of throws me off to a certain degree.
I mean, I have things like that where I absolutely know the difference between the two, but I always say the wrong one.
Sure. Doing more ads at the end of the fucking credits? That's weird. Movies.
Well, it would be fine if they were
flashing a little
right.
advert thing in the corner.
Right, or something. Interrupt the credits to show a commercial and then go back to the credits.
They're not smart enough on this one for it.
And I can't imagine they ran out of money. I don't know if...
Running away with you.
Oh, John Parr. Interesting.
Always have a thing with John Parr because he got signed on to do the main song for St. Elmo's Fire.
Right.
He didn't like the movie, but he still wrote a song that has absolutely nothing to do with the movie whatsoever, and still took the paycheck.
And it's one of the best songs of the 1980s.
Sadly.
In my opinion. You don't like it?
I just have the ire with it.
Oh, because you like the movie so much.
It's just the fact that it's duplicitous. Like, I don't really like the movie, but I'm going to write a completely different song for the movie that has nothing to do with it, but I'm still going to take the paycheck for it. Most guys say, I don't really like the movie, I'll pass on it.
Wouldn't you do that?
I don't know, it just seems a little...
You wouldn't take the money?
I know. It just rubs me the wrong way.
All right, that's fine. That's allowed.
It's like Glenn Fry on Beverly Hills Cop 2. It's like, I don't really like the lyrics, I don't really like it, pass on to give it to Bob Seger.
Yeah, so, and it became his only #1 hit.
Sure. You did him a favor. See?
Sure.
Do Bob Seger a favor, why don't you?
I like it. All right, guys. This has been fun.
Yeah. Guys, thanks much. We'll be back with other great stuff soon.
All right. Bye-bye.